So here we are for my second rant. Sorry, I'm sitting on a wooden chair. I know it's annoying. I'll try to edit it out, but until I have a desk chair, this will have to do. So this is my second rant. It's the day before the American elections, and what a lot of people in the United States tend to forget is that sure, to a far lesser degree, we got a finger to grinding on this as well, because, look at wars, look at climate change, etc., look at trade. These elections are important for us too. And a lot of Europeans tend to forget it as well. A lot of Europeans is like, oh, this is the Americans, well, whatever. And, I tend to disagree. To each his own. But, I know that I have zero influence on the elections, nor should I. But I follow it with great interest, just because, like I said, we got a thing or two riding it as well. But yeah, I really hope that Biden wins, and I say this reluctantly because I really hoped for you guys that Bernie Sanders would have been the Democratic candidate. A lot of Americans would say, "Go, he's like more to the center," and some would even say to the right. In European politics, and I have to say that's not quite true because I think that's more like looking at Europe with rose-colored eyeglasses because things may be better than where you are in quite some ways. And though of course it isn't nowhere near as bad as some of the right-wing people would try to let you believe. Of course we have all kinds of freedoms, and where our supermarkets are not empty constantly. Like I can't remember ever seeing a empty shelf until the Corona time, so. But things aren't exactly hunky-dory here, right? They're not. Oh my god, they're so amazing, and I don't need anything to change because everything is already perfect here. It's definitely not good in a lot of ways, and no, Bernie would be center left here. He would be pretty far on the left side. Not center left. Nor more. I mean, he would be pretty far to the left here in a lot of ways. Because we have pretty right-wing politicians here that, Bernie Sanders would, he wouldn't would probably be grossed out by it. He would have had a way tougher thick skin than a lot of our politicians have because, it's not it's brought in a different way, and it's a different country, and there are different concerns about different groups of people by the right, so the right is aiming at different groups of people for different reasons than in America in a lot of time, in a lot of ways. But um, yeah, it's not great here, and it's not great anywhere. Um, and I think that's a really realistic thing to point out, that it's not amazing anywhere. I mean, I'm sure that in Scandinavia things are a little bit different and a little bit maybe in some ways better than here in the Netherlands. But I was in Stockholm and um, I saw a level of poverty there that you don't really see here. So, you know, that was kind of really interesting to me, because like we have homeless people here, definitely for sure. But I even in Amsterdam, I have hardly seen anyone go through the garbage bin for like cans and bottles to into in some way maybe uh, get some money from that. And well, cans would maybe get a few cents here and there, perhaps. So yeah, that's a level of poverty that you don't see here. But when I hear things like healthcare and stuff like that, that sounds a little bit better in Scandinavia than here. So it's not it's not great anywhere really. There are like any country has some major problems, and I think that some people on the left looking at Europe might be a little bit blind to that. Yeah, like the whole notion that someone like Kyle Kalinske says, like, oh, the more conservative parties are afraid to touch the healthcare programs and the social safety nets, and that is just false. That's just wrong. That is just not true. I mean, they approach it, they approach it, of course, that carefully, because yes, it is not very popular to get rid of those programs, but it's also, they still do it. They still go about it in a really sneaky way. They're being very careful about it, but they definitely try to do it. They definitely try to be like, oh, hey, listen, here is some reforms, and we might need to make the requirements a little bit stricter here and there, or that it's what you hear in the United States sometimes as well, with some things that are wildly popular, and that for example, the Democrats know that it's widely popular. What I'm saying, of course, it's usually Republicans, but I was trying to be fair. But it sounds like, oh, let's Let's not call it a budget cut. Let's call it a reform and stuff like that. And of course, it happens here too. And with more conservative parties, they're not that different fiscally. You know, when it comes to finances and the economy, than a lot of conservative Republican parties. Of course not. Of course not. That would be crazy. In their hearts of hearts, they're pretty much the same. In an so in a socio-economic way, you know, like of course, of course they are. Like, of course, they have to tune their message to the country where they are in. But the core is the same. The core is like, yes, maybe you deserve something, but not on our dime. Because I already have all the money in the world, so why would I give you anything? Anything. Work, you son of a bitch. Then do it in a different way. Of course, we have all kinds of social nets that, yes, make sure that you can just be evicted from your house or go hungry or whatever, right? Of course, we do have to have those safety nets. But you should be thankful that those safety nets exist from my tax money, because otherwise you would have been out on the streets. You should know that. Yes, you should know that. And you should feel guilty. Now, get to work. Oh, you can't work. Well, I don't care. Get to work. Work as much as you can. Oh, you can't work 100%? That's fine. Just work 50%. Or work 20%. We don't care. You have to work, because otherwise you're fucking scum. And sure, you won't die from hunger. Or sure, you won't be evicted from your little box of a house. But if you don't work, for what reason whatsoever, you're fucking scum. So of course it's better in some ways. But do you really think that it's like that much better here? That our right wing is that much different in the messaging? That the core message is that much different? Of course not. They love Trump. They love Trump for everything he does. Because their voters, their main sponsors, they love everything Trump does. And you know, they may not be allowed to receive huge donations, and you know, they might not use all kinds of ways to put that money in their own pocket, by some means, to a degree that an American politician might do it, you know. But they still do it. Probably because they know when they're done with politics, they can get some lazy job at one of those companies where they're like the special senior advisor of hot air, and you know, once a year he gives like a public speech somewhere, and everyone feels like, oh, you're such an amazing politician. Oh, and now he's such an amazing speaker. Oh. And he makes a couple of million euros a year. And yes, that's not as much as it is in America, but still, who gives a fuck? He can live, he can do whatever he wants. Off our backs. So no, of course, in Europe, it's in different ways, and maybe in softer ways, and maybe in more regulated ways, and maybe in more tuned down ways. Bad here as well. It's not good, and that is why it's so important that in any country really, but you know, especially in the bigger countries with more sway over the world, where their actions have bigger consequences than little old the Netherlands, right? That's important. Why it's important that the right people win. Like I said, anywhere, but especially in America, because I think that here, and maybe in other European countries as well, we were kind of looking halfway, hopefully, at Bernie Sanders. Maybe even becoming president and having some proof that, if in America of all countries, someone like Bernie Sanders can win, then surely. But it didn't happen. They played some dirty tricks. Now Biden is the candidate. And, well, I can't believe that I have to say that the guy that whose campaign, at least, maybe not him personally, but whose campaign had to play a bit of a dirty game to get him to be the candidate. And let's be fair, that's kind of what happened, right? I can't believe I have to say, vote for that guy. But, I kind of have to. That's how fucked up this is. And, here in my country, I mean, I vote for the Socialist Party. I'm also a member of the Socialist Party. They're not even that far left anymore. Even they became scared of becoming real left. And I know that if I vote for them, that will help somewhat. It will help decide how many chairs they get in this, how many seats they get, right? But they will never be a governing party. Never. Even when they become big enough. And I don't know if it's because they are completely bad and unwilling to compromise, or if some political parties just say, you can say whatever you want, you can do whatever you want, but we're not gonna work with you unless you throw away exactly the most important things that you treasure. I'm willing to believe both theories. I hope it's the last one, sorta. On the other hand, I don't. It's terrible everywhere, man. And but at the same time, that's why it's important that the right people win. Take care, everyone. I don't think that anyone will ever hear this, but take care and bye.